Welcome back. First things first, I want to say thank you. We've reached 100 subscribers on this channel, and I think that's pretty impressive. I thought after 3 months I'd probably be still chugging away at this, but you guys decided that you like my videos, and I really appreciate that. So this week, what are we talking about? We're going to be talking about an impromptu trip I took to Oregon with Clara. This trip begins literally the day after the last video. After finishing my trip to Idaho, came back to Tacoma and met up with my girlfriend Clara. We passed out for the night, but the next morning we immediately set off to the Oregon coast.
Mattress Ranch is gone.
No!
No! Justice for Mattress Ranch!
I recently picked up a Minolta XG-1 and I hadn't tested it out yet, and I thought, no, it looked in pretty good condition, so I thought I'd give it a whirl and test it out on this trip. As well, I brought the Polaroid SX-70. I still had 2 packs of film, one being the Polaroid SX black and white film, and the other being the Polaroid 600 black and white film. The first stop on our trip was Ecola State Park. I had been here a couple times in the past, but Claire hadn't actually been to this park yet, even though she's the Pacific Northwesterner born and raised. We got here around noon. It was bright and sunny and pretty windy too, but we made the most of it. At this point, you probably notice, I have light leaks. Honestly, at this point, I'm considering changing my name from Northwest Press to Light Leaks Express. Honestly, this is what you get though when you try to film a video with a camera you've never tested before. After a little bit of exploring, we decided it was time for lunch, so we kind of bailed from Ecola and ran back into Cannon Beach. We popped into the small brew pub to get some pints and some food. At this point, I switched out from the 15mm 1.4 Minolta lens I had on the camera. I switched over to a Spiritone 20mm f2.8. I love using ultra-wide angle lenses indoors because it allows you to get a little bit more of the scenes within your frame. With lunch out of the way, we moved our way over to Haystack Rock. Cannon Beach is probably one of the most well-known beaches for photographers, with Haystack Rock being its center focal point. I like being here, and I think I've taken some pretty good photos here in the past, but this time, yeah, no. Also, you might be wondering what film did I actually shoot and ruin on this trip. I chose Fuji Superia 400. I wanted to shoot Superia and overexpose it by one stop to see if I could bring a little more life into the film. Sometimes I find that when I shoot Superia at 400, it can get a little dark and contrasty, so I was hoping that the overexposure could reduce that. Unfortunately, there's so many color shifts with these light leaks that I can't really tell if this worked or if it didn't, and I'm not too sure. So as for now, this project's on the back burner and I'll probably try again in a few months.
Jiggle for me, jiggle for me, jiggle. Bathroom had been through it, and justice for Mattress Ranch.
After stomping around on the beach and almost getting hit with several waves, me and Clara made our way back to the car. At this point, we decided to migrate our way back north to Astoria, Oregon. Once in Astoria, we hit the boardwalk. First stop on our little walk was to check out Bowie Brewing. Bowie is one of my favorite breweries in Astoria. It's got great beer and great food. Unfortunately, a few months prior to our trip, the roof had fallen in on the brewery and I wanted to check out the damages. Unfortunately, it was fenced up and it looked like it was in pretty good condition being renovated. The sad thing is I wasn't able to see the sea lions underneath the brewery as I used to love to do when I went there. From there though, we walked up and down the boardwalk and I just kind of took in the scenes. Astoria is one of my favorite places in the Pacific Northwest. It's always kind of a really nice calming place. Every time I'm in Astoria though, I'm kind of filled with nostalgia as well. I always think back to my childhood watching some of my favorite movies such as The Goonies, Kindergarten Cop, and everybody's favorite, Short Circuit. In all seriousness though, Astoria is a lovely place to visit. I love coming here because the food and drink is delicious, and it's just really an easy place for me to relax into. Also, with all the SX black and white film finished up, I decided to try the 600 speed film in the SX-70 again. Where the SX-70 had really deep, rich contrast within its photos, I feel the 600 film was just overexposed to high hell. Still an interesting challenge to say the least, but I don't think it was at all perfected. I thought with the overcast day, the 600 speed film would react better. I don't think the SX-70 could stop down well enough to adjust for the speed of film. Back to the Minolta though, not knowing that it was filled with light leaks yet, I precariously put the Minolta on a wooden banister on the boardwalk and attempted to take a selfie of me and Clara. If I knew what I knew now and it fell into the ocean, I probably wouldn't have cared too much. Next on the list, me and Clara just decided to wander around town, just kind of do a little bit of exploring, seeing what else had maybe opened up around town. Eventually, we wandered all the way over to my favorite brewery in the Pacific Northwest, Fort George. Fort George is special for me and Clara. It's where I took us on our first date. I knew I could steal her heart by filling her up with beer and feeding her pizza. And here we are, almost 3 years later. Enough about us. While in the brewery though, I switched over to the Spiritone again, and I did a couple long exposures inside the building. this point though, I kind of wish I invested in one of those mini kind of tabletop tripods, because all you're seeing is table. At this point though, it really wasn't about the photos. It was about eating some good food, drinking some good beer, and spending some time with Clara. Unfortunately, after dinner, we had to head back to Tacoma. We had a lovely little day trip out to the Oregon coast. Fortunately, we had been working conflicting schedules for the last year, but we hadn't been able to take many trips together. But this one, even though short, was definitely sweet. And at the end of the day, all I have to say is this. You should probably test your gear before you try to make a video with it. And justice for Mattress Ranch. So stupid.